Mark comes home to a surprise birthday party. His crush Melanie is there, and he is happy. He tries to help her out, but his mother, Tanya, ruins his opportunity. At the pool, he can't stop staring at her. His best friend Walter comes over and asks him to get his house ready for a small party between the both of them and Melanie and another girl. And he agrees. On the day of the party, he gets Randy, his mom's colleague, and a family friend to take his mom out on a date, but his mom has an ace up her sleeve. She'd already invited a deacon over, and he comes over and ruins their party. The next day, Mark was totally salty. His mom asks him to get something from the hardware store, and while he's there, a woman comes to him and he's in lust. She asks for his help on getting a shower massager, and he helps her. Outside on his way home, she drives over and introduces herself to him. Her name is Carissa. She asks him to go home with her to help her fix the shower massager she'd bought. He agrees and goes home with her. When he's done, she comes over to him and invites him in the shower with her. He was shocked, and there they smashed. Hey guys, we are happy to announce that we just got our first sponsorship. Memories fade, but they don't have to be lost forever. At Precious Memories Restored, they specialize in preserving your cherished photos and bringing them back to life. From restoring damaged or faded photos to adding vibrant color to black and white memories, they handle it all. Their Photoshop experts work meticulously to preserve every detail, ensuring your photos look as good as new, a perfect gift for your loved ones. And with their 100% money-back guarantee, you can trust them to deliver results you'll love. If you're not satisfied, they'll make it right or refund your money. No questions asked. Need your photos restored fast? They've got you covered. Their quick turnaround times mean you'll get your precious memories back sooner than you think. Don't let your memories fade away. Visit preciousmemoriesrestored.com today and preserve and restore your precious moments, because every memory deserves to last a lifetime. Get 33% off this February with the promo code LOVE. More information in the description. Thanks for watching. Now back to the video. When he gets home, he's totally giddy unlike earlier, and his mom is surprised. Later, he calls Walter, and they talk about everything. Walter is amazed. That night, Carissa picks him up for a date. They go to a restaurant, and he tells her about his app, which he'd made for his mom. She tells him that she loved it, and she had a friend who would be interested in investing in the app. He's excited about this. The next day, Carissa takes him out shopping, and later they both chill beside the pool. There he learns that she is a rich widow, and he also learns a bit more about human anatomy. At his house, Tanya is worried about his strange new girlfriend and his behaviors the past few days. She finds his phone in the laundry, and she sees Carissa's number in it. That night, Carissa shows up, and Mark is surprised. Tanya had called her over so she could see who Mark was going out with, and she was totally shocked. All through dinner, she couldn't keep in her disapproval of the relationship, and she lashes out at Carissa. Carissa storms off, and Mark goes after her to apologize. They both go home together. Tanya is surprised. Mark had never done that before. She goes through his laptop and looks up Carissa. She sees that Carissa is a widow whose husband had died mysteriously. The next morning, she goes to Carissa's house. They're just like the previous night. They both got into an argument, and she gets the door shut on her face. Inside the house, Carissa asks Mark to move in with her, but he tells her that he couldn't. She's angry about this and calls off their plans for the day. Tanya goes to Randy and talks to him about everything. She asks for his advice, and he tells her that she was being too clingy and controlling. He tells her that she'd ruined Mark's chance with Melanie at his party and that she wasn't letting him experience life for himself. She got an idea. She goes home and sends Melanie a message from Mark's email asking her to come over. When Melanie comes, Mark is surprised. They have lunch, and she gives Mark her keys and some money and asks them to both go out and have some fun. They go out and spend time together. There's a strong attraction between them. They kiss, and they start to leave. Out in the distance, Carissa watches them from her car. Mark drives Melanie to his house, and he goes inside. Melanie goes to her car so she can drive home. Inside her car, Carissa is in the back seat. She threatens Melanie to stay away from Mark, and Melanie is scared. She cuts her on the face. The next day, Tanya goes to Randy to tell him about the success of her plan, but he's mad at her. He tells her that she's manipulative and controlling, and oblivious to his feelings for her, and that he was done being in her life. She's dumbfounded. At home, Mark tells Walter that he wanted to break things off with Carissa because he likes Melanie, but Walter thought that was outrageous, and he tries to talk him out of it. Carissa goes to Randy and she tries to seduce him, but he rebukes her and she's shocked. Perhaps she'd never had that treatment. At her house, Walter comes over and she lets him in. He tells her that he was there to console her for her and Mark's breakup. She was surprised Mark hadn't even told her that they were breaking up. This was Walter's way of ingratiating with her, but the conversation surely wouldn't be going anywhere he'd planned. All day, Mark tries to call Melanie, but she doesn't pick, and he's sad. He thought they'd had a connection. Later, she picks his call, but she was very shady with him. She tells him that they couldn't keep seeing each other, and she ends the call. He was perplexed. Carissa calls him and tells him that her friend was going to be coming over that night, and she wanted him to be there to pitch his app. He was hesitant, but he finally agreed. On his way out, his mom makes him promise that he would be back in no time. At the meeting, they're impressed by his app, but the man tells him that a similar app had just been launched a month ago by a big company, but he was welcome to work with his company whenever he was ready. He's sad to hear this. After the man leaves, he tries to leave and call things off with Carissa, but she hits him on the head with a bottle and he passes out. She ties him up in her sauna and she tortures him. At home, Tanya is worried sick. She goes to see Randy to tell him about Mark's disappearance. Carissa takes Mark's phone and sends Tanya a message, asking her to come get him. She comes over and Carissa cajoles her to come inside. She cuffs her and takes her to Mark. It had been almost 24 hours since he'd been there, and he was drifting in and out of consciousness. She tells Tanya that one of them had to die. Tanya either had to kill Mark or kill herself, and there was only one round in the gun. She puts the gun on the floor and she leaves. Randy tries to call Tanya, but it goes straight to voicemail, and he's worried. Tanya is about to unalive herself, but Carissa yells for her to hurry up, and that gives her an idea. Just then, Carissa hears a doorbell, and she also hears a gunshot. She goes to Tanya and Mark. She thinks that Tanya had unalived herself, but she hadn't. They start to fight, and Carissa falls unconscious. Tanya carries Mark outside, and just then, Carissa runs out to unalive them, but Randy throws a pole at her, unaliving her. He'd been the one who rang the doorbell. It's a very traumatic experience for them. They hear a sound from a box, and when they open it, they see that it was Walter. Mark and Melanie finally leave for school, and Tanya and Randy become a couple. To their shock, Walter also gets himself an older lady. So that'd do it for now. Till next time, stay safe.